Who doesn't love a good flashlight?
Since we're always working under the hood, mechanics need a good light.
You got rechargeable LED flashlights, you got work lights, a lot of duplicates, a lot of redundancy, because you need a lot of light doing this type of work. Not to mention video work, but that's a different story. So as you can see, I like my lights, which is probably why I can't go to Harbor Freight without looking at their flashlights. And I found this thing there, Braun 300 lumen magnetic gooseneck light. And that of course intrigued me, and I'll explain why. Don't mind the mess over there. Sometimes these magnetic lights are pretty good at sticking and shining, but if you're working under the hood of your car, that light might be pretty far away, and then your hands get under it and you cast a shadow all over everything. So it's not exactly the best light in all scenarios. This one I thought was worth a try. It's a 58186 part number. It was on sale, I think, for $29, which is typically a lot more than I'll ever spend on a flashlight. I mean, these guys are pretty expensive too, but I've had good luck with those, and the recharge feature isn't my favorite, but when it's fully charged, it does a great job. 300 lumens, I don't pay too much attention to this, so I just go off of the old, is it bright or not? I mean, when it comes down to it, that's all we really care about. Okay, let's get this thing out of here. Of course, it's in there really well. Ow. I get why you'd want your product to be secure, but holy Jesus. Come on.
4 hours later.
Almost. There we go. You have instructions, but we're not doing that, right? So it comes with a charging cable, that's good. There's the charging port there. So, does the gooseneck hold its shape? Yeah, I'd say so. It's not going to do any sort of extreme bends, but I'd say you could get pretty much whatever angle you want. Say we just want to use it as a compact flashlight. There you go. How do you turn this thing on? There's the power button is right here. Let me turn all these off. Okay, so the first click is the low setting, then medium, then high, and it turns off. So let's go to the high setting. You cannot focus this beam. This is all you get. And I'll compare it with the super duper bright flashlight. I'll try to put the same rough beam size on it. Maybe something like that. Okay, so the one on the right, the Amazon flashlight, definitely has a wider beam. This one is a bit more yellow, whereas this one is white. One thing I really appreciate about Braun lights that no one seems to talk about is how when you turn it on, it just has the 3 settings, and that's it. With a lot of these other cheap flashlights, they think you're like stuck on a boat a lot, so you have a strobe function, and then you have an SOS function. On almost every cheap-ish, bright-ish flashlight I get on Amazon, it has an SOS feature, which I really don't understand. I'm not on a boat all that often, so I don't need every single flashlight to have 5 clicks before I turn it off. The Braun stuff has always been low, medium, high, off, low, medium, high, off. And this one is the same, low, medium, high, off. So even with these work lights here, I'll have to look up what these lights advertise as their lumen function, but if I put them pretty close to each other, brightest setting on each one. These are more floodlights, so they are kind of good at lighting up a big area, whereas you can see this one is directional. It needs to be pointed at something. Brightness aside, and it'll probably get brighter after I charge it. I have just taken it out of the box. What I really liked was the sides of this handle are magnetic. So if you wanted to construct some sort of an overhead light, you could certainly do that. Now, if I want to work on something, I can get my light right up next to it and do what I have to do without holding the light. So it does stick onto the side, onto the top of the toolbox and stay pretty secure there. I have my impact holder mounted to the wall here, and I like to use that as a stand for my lights sometimes when I'm working on the top of the box. With this guy, so correction to before, it only has one side of a magnet. This side is not magnetic. So it's not both like I thought, it's only one. So now how about that? I'm able to have a light mounted overhead, and it does hold its shape pretty well. You can see a little bit of it wanting to go back under extreme angles, but for the most part, that's pretty dang good. And the magnet is really strong. Easy. That's pretty good. These are like 2 pounds, 2-3 pounds, something like that. Toolbox has a bunch of packaging detritus all over it now. It's a pretty nice light. I do like the handle being magnetic. I'm gonna charge it up and give this another test run to see if it's any brighter. I do wish it had just a bit stronger beam to it, so we'll charge it and see if it's any better. Takes a USB-C charger, which is nice. That's pretty much what everything has on it these days. That's what all of these spotlights are using. So if you have some chargers for these guys, you're gonna have a charger for this one. Okay, we'll let it charge and come right back. All right, she's all charged up. Let's see if it's any brighter. So not bad. 300 lumens is about right, I would think, just for a comparison's sake. It is a spotlight, not a flood. You can see the difference if I hold this one off the ground the same height. So not the brightest thing in the world. The fact that you can just stick it to the side of your box and have a nice little work light, that's pretty convenient. Or like I had mentioned, if you have somewhere else you plan on putting it, then it just gives you another avenue of light. And again, it doesn't want to stay at extreme angles, but it does stay pretty well once you finally get it in the right spot. So I've got the Braun light set up, and that is the only light I'm using. The spotlight is turned off. Just wanted to show you, it really does do a good job. I like how it is definitely aimable in certain directions, but I'll leave it here on the battery and move it aside. You can see there is a sharp cutoff. It does not light up everything, but it does really good at focusing in on one specific spot. And if you bring it a little bit closer to where you happen to be working, you can really get very specific. You're always going to cast a little bit of shadow no matter what you do at night under the hood, but this is a pretty good option. Just to give you a comparison, this is the Gooseneck light, the 300 lumen. This is the 750 spotlight. No light coming from here. So if you want to light up a real bright area, the spotlights are where it's at. But if you use them in conjunction, it's a pretty good setup. You can really see everything in here. And there's just the goose light again. Not bad at all. One of the best parts about it is being able to aim it wherever you want. So overall, I think it's pretty nice. It's definitely worth a try. If you don't mind spending the 30 bucks on it, maybe you can catch it on sale or get a coupon or something. It's not the brightest thing in the world, but it does a good job for lighting up exactly where you're working. Just try to keep that in mind. I've had good success with Braun things before, and I don't think it'll be any different. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you subscribe. I'm always buying crazy crap at Harbor Freight. You never know what I'm going to review next. If you have any suggestions for a review, feel free to leave them down in the comments section. As always, thanks for watching.